What we always do is at the beginning of our podcast, we ask our guests to introduce themselves.
Sure.
Because when I watch podcasts, I always want to know who is the person that's sitting there talking, so that people know your pedigree, they know your passion, what's your background, what entitles you to make some of the valuable statements that you're still going to make. Okay.
That's it.
So we call it the passion journey. Maybe you could introduce yourself.
Journey. So my passion journey starts in Germany.
Okay.
So we're in Austria, in Vienna, and we're talking English, so you won't see this. But if I would be talking German now to you, everybody in Austria would know within probably 2 sentences, this is not a born Viennese, this is not a born Austrian, this is a German. Hey, though I lived for 25 years in Austria, somehow it hasn't rubbed off on me. Don't know why. I haven't forced it. That is not my style either. It comes on. Though, honestly, when I come home to Germany...
they say, are you from Austria?
I almost said that one. So you see, I'm in between in a way. But when I go back to my hometown, that's Bochum. That's I'm from the Ruhr region, steel and coal. And I start to speak there. They go like, hey, can you please speak proper German? So I'm neither here nor there in a way, but that's fine. Love it here. Again, I grew up in the Ruhr region, Bochum, in Western Germany, relatively close to the Dutch border. Grew up there, school, university as well.
Where did you study at university?
Business administration and economics, Wirtschaftswissenschaft, as they call it. So it's a combination of both with, in the second part, basically marketing. So we have something to share there as well.
And two bullshit artists.
And informatics.
Okay. So, something serious. Okay.
So that included as well a 1 year stint with Erasmus in Spain, in Madrid.
Oh, wow.
Where I met a very nice Austrian lady.
Cherchez la femme.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and at the end of when we both graduated, the selection was say Germany or Austria. And for me, it was clear. I love my hometown. I love my home region. But it was clear I would leave.
Yeah.
I'm always love to go back for a week or so, but so it was easy for me at the time to then, after graduating in '98, to find a job here in Vienna. So I started Henkel detergent in the third district at the plant. There's an SAP specialist. Did SAP implementations first. The famous at the time very common R2 to R3.
Oh my gosh, I'd forgotten those
transition
names.
projects for first Vienna plant, then ESA's. The Henkel Austria facility was as well the headquarters for Central Eastern Europe, so we did this as well in all the different countries there, Poland, Slovakia, Czech Republic, what have you. That was all nice, and after 2 years I said, you know what, I want to do an expatriate thing, because that was as well part of what they told me at the beginning, hey, you could do that one with Henkel. And so they said, hey, so you want to do Hungary, or do you want to do...
It's like right next door.
Czech Republic. I said, I would like to travel a little farther. And so at the end, I landed a gig in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh,
so
wow.
for instance, we're gonna do US. I said, just married. So I said, okay, starting in 2000. I said, where exactly in the US? And so usually you hope for the usual suspect. Yeah. And they go like, Cincinnati, Ohio. And you're like, okay, let's Google that one.
Yeah.
And I loved it there. But you know, you drive into town, and there's this sign on the road when you enter the town, and like, most family-friendly town in the US. And you go like, okay, so as just my wife and I at the time were like, family-friendly means no big fun here, obviously. Yeah. And I think Mark Twain had this statement like, if the world ends, Cincinnati will find out 2 years later, or something like along that line. Yeah. Don't know the exact quote. So, I mean, we had a great time there, but it was a family-friendly city. So we said, you know what, we have to start a family here.
It's not the highlight of the United States, but it's nice.
We had a great time, and I have to say as well, part of my job was going to different facilities we had, mainly on the East Coast, but it was South Carolina, it was Chicago, close to Chicago, in town, Kankakee.
Now, were you working? Was it still working on SAP projects back then? Or?
No, I was at that time transitioning from the SAP specialist role into project management by accident. The classic one.
Yeah.
Hey, we're lacking a project manager here. Why don't you?
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe it doesn't look too bad on the resume. Maybe I should give it a try.
Yeah.
And so I started that one, and that was first, as almost every accidental project manager. Hey, how hard can it be?
Yeah.
Luckily, I read some books and had kind of this 2-day
You
thing.
read the typical Kurtzner books and
No, not even that one. I kind of project management for dummies, and that they gave me this.
Tom DeMarco.
Yeah, Franklin Covey 2-day project management course, which was announced horrible.
Yeah.
But anyways, I mean, my apologies to Franklin Covey, but hey, that was the way it was at the time. And still found it interesting to be able to have a wider influence and to make things happen, essentially, instead of just making it happen myself in a way. And it kind of brought me as well back a little bit to my business administration, general management training I had at university. Yeah. So I said, that is nice. Did a lot of data warehouse work, SAP work at the time, projects, liked it. Returned them back after 2 years to Austria. It was the end of the expatriate time, which was great years, best years of my life, I would say. Seen a lot of the US, so loved the city, and my son was born there, so he's an American
citizen, yeah.
Yes, he is. And joined then the classic engineers problem. You return from your time overseas, and they go like, you're back.
Now what?
You can do the same thing again as when you left. I said, like, that wasn't the intention here. So then I said, Henkel, we had a good time, but I joined CSC.
Okay.
So I said, I do my 2 years of consulting.
CSC, yes.
I said, so I got to do it. I had colleagues there, so I said, on 2 years of consulting. I have that on the resume. Turned out to be 14 years after all. And there I get a really thorough project management training, really thorough.
Didn't CSC also buy one of the enterprise project management software tools?
No, not really. No.
I thought they did. Okay.
No, no, they were always agnostic to that one. But as this was at the time a company of 100,000 employees with a very strong American footprint, especially, they had really excellent project management curriculum. Excellent. Better than anything I've seen anywhere else.
I'm actually familiar with some of the project management training materials that they have.
Okay. So, I mean, they had as well a framework that was built on the knowledge they've gained through decades of working, especially in U.S. government stuff, NASA, Alphabet Soup, and what have you. So that was excellent. So there I really got a solid grounding in project management with excellent training. Went through the whole curriculum there and did from that point onwards. And that was at the beginning very much. I mean, the first project I was still dabbling a little bit into SAP consultant role, but then there comes this point in the career where you say, is project management a part-time job or is this now your job? And so I decided to jump in with both feet, and from that point onwards, I've never regretted that decision.
Familiar. Sounds familiar.
And that was basically the point where I said, I'm not anymore an SAP consultant, moonlighting as a project manager. I'm a project manager.
Good for you.
Yeah, indeed. Was never regretted that decision. And as usual, you start with project management, smaller projects, bigger projects. And then I had the luck to basically stumble over distressed projects. So there were some distressed projects with clients, and they said, we need someone who takes care of that one. And at that point I said, you know what, why not? So, and I basically built a reputation at the time for salvaging distressed projects. It's a stressful job. Probably you've done that as well along your career. But what I loved about that one, you're much more flexible. You can do much more outside established processes and rules, what have you. Everyone's just happy there is some guy or gal who's trying to take care of it. And yes, they will break some rules. But thank God they're taking care of that. So yes, your role is to be a pain sponge in a way, to fix and get it done. And you have to be comfortable to make some rules, break some rules.
Yeah. It's always, I always say the best rule breakers are the ones who understand the rules best.
Yeah. First, you make the rules,
and
occasionally you break them.
You need to know them and know where they're bendable, where you can adapt them, which is, I think, part of what the PMBOK is also trying to do with its adaptability
Absolutely.
thing.
But I think you have to also understand, when you break the rules, you break them consciously.
Yeah.
You are aware that you've just broken a rule, and you're not going.
And you're not doing it willy-nilly.
Yeah, or that you then find out in hindsight, it just broke a pretty important rule.
Yeah.
And then you feel down the road the payback.
Yeah.
That is obviously always a risky thing, because things can go sideways really, and not. You might screw it up, and it might be screwed up, and it is outside your capabilities, because maybe the product you're working with or the team you're working with is just not capable, or it's just one bridge too far.
Now, were you an employee when you took over these distressed projects?
Usually I was basically parachuted in as a hired gun to the
freelancer. Interim.
Interim.
Yeah.
Usually, 1-2 things I did as well, where CC was a little bit in the mix itself, but usually I was brought in as a kind of firefighter. And I had the luck that I had 2 bigger organizations that kind of, where I was thrown in for one gig, and said, you know what, we have more of these kind. Why don't you stay around and basically become our firefighter of choice? And then
it sounds fun. Sounds stressful, but it sounds fun.
Yeah. Because you can make contacts. You go places you usually wouldn't go.
Yeah. And you can say things in a tone that usually most people who are in the line organization never have the benefit of being able to say,
and other people have to swallow it.
Yeah.
So I had the luck to do this for actually 3 years for a huge international oil and gas company based in Britain. That was for a while all over Europe, sorting things out.
Awesome.
And then a little bit later, through a collaboration between a bigger high-tech company from Japan and a bigger entertainment conglomerate from California.
Okay.
And they found the liking of that one, the most, and did that one for 2 years.